The party
Guy
was lame to me.
Fieri.
Fieri.
This is the fun.
Yeah.
So they're trying to track him down. Mora's at the party.
I just want to say, you are never allowed to pick the freaking theme for anything again. Okay. Albuquerque, fire truck. We're just yelling out words now? What's going on here? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This is a weekly podcast, and we do upload the video version of this to our YouTube channel, so be sure to check us out there. As always, my name is Matt, and I am your host, and I'm being joined by my sister, Vetta. How are you doing, Vetta?
Oh, wow. Now you've just changed the intro to where you're the host. I
I'm
thought this
always
was
the
a co-host
host.
thing. Oh,
Listen,
bitch. I'm smacking you next time we're in the same room.
So how about this? My name is Matt, and I like to party. Vetta, how are you?
No, I like to party.
That's fine. We can both party. I'm not selfish on the partying. Okay.
Okay.
On this episode, we are being joined by our guests Alex and Randy. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. How are
I'm
you?
good. Do you guys like to party?
I like to party.
Great. We're all in the same boat. Speaking of that, the movie that you guys have chosen for this week is Hot Rod. And I just have to say, I'm so glad you guys chose this movie because I had a great blast watching it. Now, before we get started, I'm going to ask the most important question of the night, and that is, what are you drinking? And we'll start with our guest, Randy. Alex, what are you guys drinking?
You go.
I'm going to keep it classy and drink some box wine.
Nice. I love it. Oh,
Yeah.
we're already
Straight out of the
besties.
box.
Yeah.
We're already
Yeah, Matt's a
besties.
wine whore, so
Mhm.
you had him at wine.
Yeah. Alex, what are you drinking, dude?
I have a glass of Gentleman Jack, but I also smoked it with some cherry wood as well.
Nice. Vetta, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a whiskey and a Coke, and then I have my backup beverage, carbless. It's okay. It goes down easy, and get you a
I
little.
also have a
Yeah.
backup beverage.
Yeah, 15 of those, you'll be feeling good. Okay.
Right.
I was going to make an atomic Dr. Pepper like they have in the movie, but I was like, there's no Dr. Pepper in it. So I am having a whiskey and Dr. Pepper. So that is always good. Okay. And my backup is, of course, a White Claw. Okay.
You're
So,
such a fucking girl with your
yeah,
wine
you're a
and White
girl.
Claw.
Okay. Yeah.
My
Okay. Anyways.
backup is the hazy IPA.
I'm
Nice.
gonna go get a backup.
Yeah, right on. All right. So, like I said before, we are going to be reviewing the movie Hot Rod. For Rod Kimball, performing stunts is a way of life. Even though he is rather accident prone, poor Rod cannot even get any respect from his stepfather, Frank, who beats him up in a weekly sparring match. When Frank falls ill, Rod devises his most outrageous stunt yet to raise money for Frank's operation. And then Rod will kick Frank's butt. Dun dun dun.
So,
Okay.
Matt, before we get started,
Yeah.
I would like to know, I would like to say, ancestors, protect me.
May they protect you. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of really good, like, quotable
So much.
moments
Oh,
in
yeah.
this movie. That's what I
That will
love
now
about
be
it so
part of
much.
my normal conversation.
I totally, dude. I was saying ultimate punch all day today. I was like,
Oh.
ultimate
Cool
punch.
beans. I was saying cool beans, and my
Oh my
teenagers
God.
were looking at me like I was
Yes.
crazy.
Yes, I was quoting this movie all day today. Okay, so before we get started on this movie, I wanted to ask you guys a question of when you first saw this movie and what did you think about it when it first came out? We'll start with you, Alex and Randy. Randy, you first. When did you first see this movie and what did you think about it the first time you saw it?
The first time was, oh God, years ago, probably like 10 years ago or more. And amazing. But watching it for the second time, it's even better.
Right on. Alex, what about you?
Oh, when I saw this movie the first time, it was also a few years ago. My buddy recommended it to me, and I was like, I don't want to watch it. It sounds dumb. And he's like, well, it's Andy Samberg. And I was like, okay, let's give it a try.
Yeah.
And I am so glad I fell in love with that movie. I've seen it
Right
about
on.
5-6 times. It's great.
Yeah. It's the Lonely Island crew. They're great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Vetta, what about you? When was the first time you watched it?
I watched it around the time that it came out. I should say when it came out on video, because as you know, that was the time of my life when I
DVD.
had four children under the age of 6. So I spent a
Mhm.
lot of time at home. So date night wasn't a thing in our house because it was too expensive. Those lovely red box rentals
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah.
pizza were date night. So I'm pretty sure this was a date night movie. Um, but yeah, I saw it when it first came out and we watched it a couple times and I'm so happy we got to watch it again.
Right on. Well, I have to say, I saw this when this came out in movie theaters. I saw it 3 times in the movie theaters.
Wow.
And I loved it from the get-go. And then I bought it on the DVD. Yeah, and I haven't seen it in quite some time. So I'm glad that you suggested it because I had a good time rewatching it. All right. So we're following Rod, right? And the movie starts out with, I love that they started this movie out with a stunt that he was doing because
Oh
like I don't know about you, but I loved that he put on a fake mustache too. Because he had this thing like all great men have mustaches. And I'm like, do, do
but real
they?
men can actually grow one.
Yeah, yeah, I was like, I don't, yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, I have a, what does he say? I have
I have
hormone
Disorder.
dis a
I
hormone
have a hormone.
disorder.
Yep.
See so many quotable moments in this movie. So I love that they started the movie out with a stunt because I don't know about you, but every time he was going to do a stunt, I was hoping he would succeed, but he just failed, and I laughed every time. It was great.
Every
It was
single
absolute
time.
pure gold, pure gold. And I love the first one because I love how they're like, "Did you guys secure the ramp?" And they're like, "Well, no, we didn't have time." And I'm like, "Are you
Yeah.
still doing this? What?" And like, and I also love that because they never tell you how old Rod is, but he's clearly an adult because he's like he's driving. He's like, I'm just like, well, you need to get a job kind of thing. But he's like, it's so funny, it's so funny. And I love his little gang of incels. It's so great.
Oh,
Okay.
his crew is like a group
There
of middle schoolers. Do you not remember being in middle school and building ramps and taking your bikes off of them and
yes,
stuff?
yes.
And somebody in the group would always be like, "Is this safe?" And somebody else would be like, "It's fine,
Yeah.
whatever."
And
Like
Yep.
don't
this
forget
whole
the
scene
random dad
reminded me
thing.
of that. And because I have brothers, I was right in the mix of it. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Alex, what did you say? Don't forget the what?
Oh, I was like, don't forget the random dancing in the background.
Oh yeah, so good, so good. I want. There's so many things in this movie that I want to talk about because it's so good. I also loved in the opening credits when he's riding his little moped through town and all those little kids follow him. And I love the look he gets on his face, like, yeah, I've got followers. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You have like 15 followers of like 10-year-olds. I'm like, get out of here. But it was
When
so
he's
good.
doing the circles and he's not even standing
Oh
or
yeah,
not even on
yeah,
the bike,
right,
I'm
right,
like,
yeah,
that would be me. That would
yeah,
be me.
yeah,
Except I
yeah.
can't reach the ground
Woo!
and sit on the bike at the same
It
time.
was pretty. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Okay. And then also I just love like I love how also in this movie it's like within his little group of friends, it's like there were so many like humble brags that they all had, but it's like in the real world, just like, what? Get the fuck out of here. Who cares if you can name the flavors of jelly beans? Like, I don't care and everything. But I love that moment when he was like, I don't remember the flavors, but he's like very cherry, and I'm all like, okay. I'm like, look at you, humble brag. So
Chill.
yeah.
Like, psych.
Yeah,
It would have only been
yeah.
impressive if
Like,
they were like the Harry Potter jelly beans and it was like earwax or
Yeah.
something.
Right, right. So, and I just love like I love how like the one guy the Danny McBride character at that beginning is all like, I gotta go unload some dumpage, and he's like,
Oh,
hey guys, I found some fireworks in the bathroom, would you like to go light them off? And then they were just like a big nothing burger. You're just like, this is like, but at the same time you're like, this is so indicative of real life. Like you find random fireworks and you're just like, let's light them off, and then they were just shit. You're like, oh, never
Yeah.
mind, no wonder
Like,
they
I
were
see why.
left
I
in a
see why they
public
were trash.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh goodness. And they even looked like crap. It just looked like hot dogs wrapped up in duct tape. And I was like, what's going on here? What's going on here? Okay.
Like a little smoke bomb in between them. Yeah, it
Yeah.
did not look
Yes.
good.
Yeah. So, okay. So I want to talk about the main focal point of this movie. And we find this out also at the very beginning is that Frank, his stepfather, does not respect Rod. Okay. He respects Kevin because Kevin's his real son, but he has to earn it. I love this whole thought process because I would be like, I don't give a shit. Fuck Frank. But I love how he's getting on all the pads too, and he's like getting ready to fight like it's a real thing,
And
and
it's like a combination of every sport. Like every family has
Yeah.
all of those pads because it's like
right,
wrestling,
yeah,
lacrosse, football.
yeah,
It's
it's
like
so funny.
he has so many and still
Yes,
gets his ass kicked.
yes. And I love, and so the main focal point is this is like every week he fights Frank to earn his respect and he always loses and everything. And I also love when they were fighting, like my favorite part of the fight was when he pulls out what looks like the sticks from a mop, like they just took off the brush part of it, and he's like Rhodesian fighting stick. So I was like, get the fuck out of here, Frank. It looks like you picked those up at Home Depot 5 minutes ago. What are you talking about, Rhodesian and everything? And they're just like they're like fighting with him and everything, and he's like beating the shit out of another dude, and I'm all like, well, how is the mother like okay with this? Like I'm just like
reading,
she's
just reading
yeah,
her book.
yeah, she's just like whatever, boys will be boys, and I'm like, what? No. So okay. So I wanted to ask you also. Okay, so then we meet the love interest in there, which is played by, I believe her name is Isla Fisher, the redhead.
Correct.
I'm just gonna call her
That is
redhead because her name because she's like British or something and she spells Isla weird. So I'm all like, get out of here. We're just gonna call you redhead. Okay, so
I think
redhead.
she spells it the correct
Okay,
way.
she doesn't spell it, my way. Anyways,
Oh,
okay.
oh, God
So
forbid.
The
okay.
un-American way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So okay,
I
so
didn't realize you just won the script's belly.
you
Is
know what?
spelling
Me and you're
bee.
gonna have a talk after this, okay? I don't okay. So okay. So I love when he puts away the trash. He just like runs at it and just throws it in, knocks it over, and he's like, nailed it. I'm like, no, you didn't. And you broke your bush. You broke the bush, okay? And I love how she's just randomly out there and she's like, Rod and everything. We get no backstory whatsoever. We're just thrown into this like relationship of like she's home from college. I don't know. Maybe she graduated. Who knows? And she's just like, "How you doing?" And I'm all like, I was hoping or thinking they would give us like a backstory, maybe a flashback. No, they're just like, "Hey, you're in it to win it,
You
fuckers."
haven't changed. You
Yeah,
haven't changed at all. One bit.
yeah, great. This is my first time seeing you, so yay. Okay. And I love how he's like acting like a teenager too, because he's like, you're really pretty, and then she's like, what? And he's like,
Really
I see,
shitty.
yeah, really shitty, like what?
I said you look shitty.
Yeah, yeah, and she just accepts it, like, okay, that's just Rod, and I'm all like,
New scene. Yeah.
I'm
Just
like,
new scene happened.
I just want to be like redhead. I don't think you know how compliments work, okay? So, so then, we do, which by the way, I wanted to ask you guys, was there anything like about the Frank fighting or anything like that whole relationship that you guys wanted to talk about before we move on? With the rest of the movie, like was there anything about the fight sequence that I missed out on, or anything like that?
Um,
Didn't he have a pillow strapped to his body or
Yeah.
something?
I don't remember, but we're gonna say yes because that makes it even
Yeah.
better. That's
Yeah.
so good.
He loves
I
it.
think he had the pads over the pillow, like it was underneath his
Yeah.
football pads.
Taped to his body.
So good. Yeah, I just love everything about it because I'm all like, he's putting on a helmet that I'm all like, what
Yeah.
for? You're just getting thrown into shit in your basement. I'm all like, they wrecked their basement. I'm all like, you guys,
Yeah.
this is a way. Like, I love how they're all worried about the money when we get to the conveniently priced surgery, but they're not worried about the rest of their the rest of their household. They're like, fuck it, it's just a window, and you're all like, no, this is expensive shit. Like, what do you mean? They're just
also, all
like,
the damages he does, like
Yeah.
later on
Yeah.
throughout the movie.
So
But
really sorry
We'll
about the
probably get there.
window, though.
yeah. I'm genuinely sorry. Yeah, you know what I love? I loved really a lot when we the next scene after we meet the redhead. I love how we go into his room, and my favorite thing was he had a Yo-Yo Ma record. I was just like, I already love you, kid. I love you. You didn't need me. You had me at Yo-Yo. So okay, so he pulls out the picture of his dad, and I love my favorite thing is that about this picture is that he circled it and he wrote dad. Like,
Yes.
fucker,
I-
we know who the famous
We're
guy
gonna
in this
forget.
photo is. There's only one other person in this photo. There's
I
no yeah, dude, there's
Yeah,
no getting
that
it confused.
was
And I love
Yeah.
when he's what would you say? When,
Oh,
what'd you
just
say?
the dad picture. It was just really just like this is him. That's the photo. It was so funny.
Yeah, it's so funny. I just love it. And I love how
And it's
he's
the only photo.
the only
Like,
photo. Yeah,
his
right.
mom was married to him long enough to have a kid, but has one photo.
Yes,
One
wow.
photo, yeah. Which I want to talk
If
about
we picture my dad like in his pocket. Hold
right.
on.
Right. I do want to talk about the mom revealing the dad story. But
Yeah.
I love this part because I don't know about you, but I love it when anytime anybody in a movie or a TV show talks to themselves or to someone that's not there because I'm just like, what, who does that? I don't do it. I don't know anybody else that does it, but I'm here. I'm here. So I love how he's like, "Hey dad, can't grow a mustache or whatever." He's like, "Must have been really cool being a stunt driver." And I love when Kevin walks in and Kevin's just so innocent. He's just like, "Hey Rod," and he's just like, "Get out!" And you're just like, it's just like,
The best is Kevin's face is like, ah, shit, he's having a conversation with his dad. I
Yeah,
interrupted. It's like such acknowledgement that he knows what's going on.
right.
And the tears.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. And I love Kevin's pajamas. Kevin's choice of fashion in this movie, 100%, 10 out of 10 in my
And
opinion.
the hairdo, the hairstyle.
Yeah, it's so good.
Hair.
So it's so good.
Someone put a bowl right on it.
Right. Yeah. So good. So good. I also love. Okay. So I forgot to mention that he is advertising that tomorrow, the next day, he's going to be jumping the public pool.
Jump in the pool.
Jump in the pool. Yeah. So
Yeah.
and he tells Redhead, and I love when they're at the pool, and for some reason, I just imagine that these guys do not work at the pool. They just show up and they're just like, "Hey, get the fuck out of the pool, Johnny."
Yes.
And I love how
Richardson wouldn't get out of the pool.
Richardson wouldn't get, which I want to talk about Richardson real quick. Okay, so that guy, later on when they have Richardson kind of join their group to pass out flyers, that Asian guy just wanted to throw shit at people and litter. That's all his whole thing is.
And do his one dance move.
Yeah, he just dry humps. I'm like, I'm sorry. He's just sexually harassing people at this point in time. I'm all like, this guy has no
But I love
reason.
how that move is why he thinks he can contribute to the crew and wants to be a member when they're like, "What can you contribute?"
Yeah,
he turns on the music.
Everybody needs a PR team.
Yeah,
Everybody
right.
needs advertisements.
Yeah, I just and the thing that about this pool jump that made me laugh the most was when Danny McBride's character, he's like got that little wheel and he's like, "It meets regulation." I'm like, "What are you fucking talking about? It meets regulation? What regulation? There is no like laws being followed here. So what are you talking about?" I'm like, so I was all like, "Okay, that's cool and everything." So they finally Redhead shows up and he's all like, "Yeah, I've done this before and everything," and and I was just like, that's so classic. Okay, so then he's ready to jump the pool and he's like, and he invokes the spirit of the eagle. Yeah. And I love the invoking of the spirits because animal spirits because I'm like okay, whatever, octopus, yay, whatever. And then he goes, "Please don't let me embarrass myself." And I'm like, "Oh, I love those words so much. Those are my
That means you're gonna.
Yeah. And
Screw it up.
yeah, in true to form, he fails and he just lands right in the pool. And so good, so good.
He doesn't even almost fail.
Yeah.
There was no air. No air. It was all gravity.
Would have let a toddler on a tricycle go down.
Right on. And I also feel like the ramps are like the off ramp is like the landing ramp is really good and everything, but the jump off ramp is just a bunch of plywood just set on some grass. I'm all like, this is.
You mean that they don't understand engineering?
Right? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly. Well, if he doesn't build ramps, who's he going to build ramps for? Okay.
Yeah,
So wait, what'd you say, Randy?
Yeah, I don't cry, but I'm crying now.
Right. See, this movie has so many quotable moments, so many quotable moments. Okay, so I love when he gets home after the pool shenanigans, and that's where we get the big reveal that Frank needs a new heart. He needs a transplant, and it's going to cost $50,000, which I'm all like, look at you,
And
you got
it's
a
not
deal.
covered by insurance, which
Insurance,
I
right?
want to go.
I know,
Doesn't that mean they don't have
They don't have
insurance?
Conveniently priced. It's
Convenient.
conveniently priced.
Yeah, conveniently.
And isn't Frank old enough that he probably could get government insurance?
Yeah,
I mean, I just,
the mom obviously did not check all of her options because
and by it being conveniently $50,000, I think the mom just wanted to go on a really nice vacation without Frank when he died.
right on, right on. So
You want some?
yeah, so we find out that Frank is dying. And so then Rod immediately gets upset and he's all like, you can't die because then I can't beat your ass. And he's like,
Yeah.
I guess you'll never know. And he's like, and then I love how he just pulls out that collapsible baton like real quick. He's like, then let's fucking do it now. And I'm all like, what's going on here? You need to calm down. You are an angry motherfucker. And he's like,
There's no point beating a dead man.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I love it. And I just love it because Ian McShane, who plays Frank, is just so good at it because it's like this guy is like he's like a classically trained actor and he's like done shows in London and shit and he's like playing this guy and he's just like does such a great job. He's so good, so good. Okay,
He leans into the like ridiculousness of this
right.
so good. And yeah, I'll save it for Twitter with my fun facts that I found when I was
good.
sober.
Yeah, so good. Okay.
If you notice, he always has like a slight smirk on his face.
Yeah.
He's bedridden. He's on
Right.
the couch near death, and he's still kind of smiling because he loves seeing
Yeah.
Rod in turmoil.
Oh,
Exactly. I love how he's like even to the point where he's gonna die. He's like, I'm still gonna fuck with this motherfucker.
Yeah.
right.
Like he's like, I'm not letting up. And his excuse later on, so
Their love language.
yeah,
I'm
I
pretty-
don't think it's love language. I feel like it's abuse. I feel it's abuse because
know.
because I'm sorry, like his excuse of the reason I'm so tough on you is because when I'm gone, you're gonna have to take care of this family. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rod can barely take care of himself, let alone a family. Okay,
His
I'm
family's gonna
sorry.
be homeless.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're gonna turn their house into a ramp. Okay, so so after he finds out, he's like, I need to go to my happy place, which leads to my favorite scene in the movie. I laugh so hard at this
Oh my
scene,
God.
which is
so
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So he rides
I
into
was
the
like,
woods.
why is he all of a sudden coordinated?
Right, yeah.
And then
And
he trips on the
My-
branch and falls, and I'm like,
my
oh,
fa-
there it is.
Exactly. My favorite thing that was what they did in the 80s was they just when he's doing the gymnastics on the log and they just put a Brillo pad on the person that's playing his head. I'm just like, you can tell that's not him. It's a Brillo pad. What are you doing? So good. So good.
They go so long and on and on. And
Right.
on. Family Guy, you're just like,
Yeah. And was anybody else like when he slams on the tree and then he comes away from it, I was like, where did that cigarette come from, asshole? Like it just appears out of nowhere. Like he didn't even light it.
He's got
It's
a beer and a
just-
cigarette.
a beer and a cigarette. I'm just like, what's going on?
I mean, I'm all for having a stash of beers in your special place.
Yeah.
But just a beer.
I do.
Just already smoking.
Yeah, exactly. I do have to say though, he does do some classic dance moves that I personally appreciated from the 80s and
Oh,
stuff. It
that's
was
totally
great.
the Footloose routine.
Yeah,
Come
for sure,
on.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
Oh
the whole
my
Footloose
God.
routine.
Yeah,
was
the
amazing.
whole thing.
So good.
Yeah. Okay, so then so he trips and he falls down an enormously
Forever
long,
falls.
yeah, for a hill.
The forever
Okay.
fall, yeah.
Which I love how also they like a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, some of those
Yes.
moves. Like he's just whirling through the air. I'm like, that's not how gravity works, but okay, I'm here.
I'm like, he should add some of those moves to when he fails at his
Yeah,
stunts.
exactly. Where did this shit come in when he's off the ramp and everything?
Nobody saw that.
yeah, exactly.
It's because he's so skilled at falling down off.
Right. That's a great point.
At rolling down a hill.
That's a great point. So I love. Okay, so he sees this billboard and it says one great jump or whatever, and it's talking about skydiving, but he's all like, he gets this epiphany and he goes back to his crew, and he's like, I'm going to jump. I need to jump 15 buses, which is more than one more than Evil Knievel.
Yeah.
Because he
And
looked at it
because
online.
online, yeah. You see so many quote okay. So and then but they need to raise $5,000 so they can pay for bus rental and building the ramp and all this nonsense or whatever.
Which I feel like it costs more than that. I almost feel like
Yeah.
this would cost more than the
How are they
conveniently
making
priced
so much
surgery.
money?
Yeah,
They have
which
so much money with the t-shirts and the all
exactly,
the
exactly.
stuff and the stadium. Like, where did this money come
Yeah.
Exactly, because I love how it's going to cost them $5,000 to do it themselves, but the radio station pays $15,000, the
Well,
last
they
of their
invest
money,
everything they have left.
And I'm all like, I don't. This is not how bookkeeping works either.
And
I'm
that's
all
why
like,
AM radio is dying.
right, yeah, exactly. I'm like, there's a lot of stuff in here that doesn't work like that, but it's. I'm here. I'm here
It's so
for it. I'm
great
here
that
for it.
it.
But the
It's so
planning
great.
montage was just amazing.
Yeah,
Just
so
Yeah.
good, so good. And
constant
I
talking.
right, and I love when he's
AM
telling.
radio.
Wait, what'd you say?
AM radio. Is
AM
gonna
radio.
be
Yeah, yeah.
big again.
Yeah, it's gonna be great again. It's so good. So I love how Bill Hader's character, while he's telling them his crew this story, he just like randomly just gets up and he's like, hey Bill, what's going on? He's like, I just remembered I'm late for work. And I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? Like it's so and
It's
so
not like his job seems like it's like, rocket science. He works in a hockey rink.
Yeah,
right,
it's like
that's
it's like an
I've
ice
spent
skate
enough
rink.
of my life in those that I could run one.
right.
Yeah.
So then we get Montage Man where we get him explaining all, like you said, Dave or Alex, Dave is working while he's explaining it to the rest of the crew and everything.
Yes.
And I love how as he's like saying string training, I will make my body a temple, da da da, and all of a sudden it goes to a homeless man. He's like, and then we're gonna collect
Yeah.
cans. We're gonna go to the stores, and he's like, guys, what do you do? And I was like, well, collecting cans actually would help you guys out to earn a
Yes.
little bit more money. So I thought that was like part of the whole plan and everything, but it was not.
No.
And then for some odd reason they just stopped to crush bubble wrap, which we
No, that's how they
That's how they
celebrate it.
celebrate.
At
That's
the end.
celebration.
That's their celebration.
What a shit celebration. Okay.
You don't
Okay.
you don't celebrate with bubble wrap?
No.
I mean,
No.
I would.
You
I
haven't had
usually-
Your
good bubble
kids
wrap.
would love to celebrate with bubble wrap.
Yes. Well,
The
I don't.
old school bubble wrap.
Right on.
You
Yeah,
can't
now it's
pop
just
the-
those big those
You can't pop the new
good,
stuff.
The new stuff you can't pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They take the fun out of everything.
Mm.
so then so then he gets Redhead's attention as he's in the garage hammering an engine, which I'm all like, again, you're just ruining that engine, fucker. But
Oh,
It's
And-
what Alex does for his job.
you just hammer engines.
That's what I do.
That's
I'm a mechanic, and that is 100%
exactly
the way to
It's
do it.
accurate. It's accurate. Nice.
Yep, that's how you fix it. A carburetor
Nice.
engine.
Yeah,
Heat it up.
nice. Yes, that's how our dad fixes the TV when it's not working. What?
Yeah.
What's wrong with this thing?
Sticking hammer.
Yeah, and I did appreciate that he was wearing a Hulkamania white
Yes.
beater. So
I
But
was really
the
hoping
way
he
he
would
got
take
her
apart.
attention, though, was
yeah,
with
right.
the mirror.
With
The
the-
mirror.
And
That
it-
was so
yeah,
funny.
Yeah.
And you grab the corner, you'd be like, oh,
Yeah, it's so
reflection,
good.
reflection. Then it's like, oh, she's coming now. Okay.
Yeah, and then he acts like he's like, "Oh, hey, what's up? I didn't know you were out there," kind of thing. Exactly.
Way to go.
Yeah. So
And
then he tells.
gaslit the hell out of her.
Oh yeah,
Oh, for
absolutely,
sure.
absolutely.
Oh,
wanna
you
be
came
our-
over here because you want to be a part of my.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, well, you got to go through the craziest thing ever, and then he just dumps a slushy on her shoes, and I was like, so then she's a part of the crew, and he introduces her to them, and everything, and that's where we get the, hi, I'm Rod, and I like to party, and then he's like, and then Dave, which is Bill
I'm
Hader's
Dave.
character.
I like to party.
Yeah, I like to party, and he's like,
My party was so does Dave.
yeah, and then we get to, and I love how when they get to Kevin, he's like, hey, I'm Kevin, I like to party. He's like, you do not like to party. You've never partied in your life, and I was like, that's probably true.
And I know this.
I know this.
And then he goes, okay, you're right. Dave likes to party.
That dude.
He's like, that's right. Only you party.
Yeah, oh my
And
God.
Dave.
And
Sweet.
So then they start his fitness training, right? And they're filling up the pool, which this is such a great line when
I love this line.
I think it's Danny McBride's. One of them is pools are great for holding water, and I'm like are perfect for holding water, and I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point of a pool.
It's true. It's very accurate. Thank you.
So, and then I also love when Dave's sister comes out and she's like, "Mom wants to know if you want any grape Kool-Aid." He's like, "Don't ask, woman, just bring it." And then she's.
I've been quoting that line all day. Don't ask, woman, just bring it.
And then I love how she's like, "We didn't have any more grape. We only had cherry." He's like, "Just set it on any table." And I was like, "That's so good. It's so good."
Danny McBride's like, "Don't, I can't do cherry."
Yeah, he's like, "Little girl, I don't like cherry. It hurts my stomach." It's so good.
I also like when she was like, "What table?
What table? Like,
you live here. You figure it out.
You figure it out. How many tables do you have in your yard? What's going on here? You guys are weird."
Like one's more than enough.
One's more than enough.
I love that because that is literally like an older brother, younger sister relationship. The only thing that was missing is if when she was walking into the house, she would have been like, "I love you," and he would have been like, "Love you too."
Right.
You know.
His accent. That twangy ass accent. God.
Oh, sometimes the super strong Southern accent, and then 2 minutes
Yeah.
later,
Wait a minute.
Right on. Yeah, no, that's our mother.
Oh God.
I don't understand what's wrong with you kids. You don't use the washing cloth. What?
Y'all don't even understand. You didn't get the dishes out of the dishwasher. I'm gonna tell your father.
God damn it! I have to wash everything in this house. Anyways, okay. So, all right. So we get the training right, and so they are going to drown him for 40 seconds. Which,
hold his breath.
Yeah,
hold his
yeah.
breath.
Which I'm all like, I'm sorry. His lung support is weak as shit. If you can't even hold your breath for 40 seconds, I was like,
about 40 seconds, 5 seconds in, and he's
exactly.
His whole life support failed when it came
exactly.
to
Right. And the little bell broke. Which
nobody noticed.
Yeah, which was a horrible backup plan. I'm all like, that's ridiculous.
When I ring this bell.
Right, exactly. I'm like it's dinner time and everything, and I'm all like what gets me is like I'm all like 40 seconds is not that long, and like maybe it's just Darwinism and it's weeding you out at this point because you can't jump a bus, you can't hold your breath. Okay, so they hold him under breath, and the bell doesn't go off, and then they
he rings it, but he breaks it in a panic.
Yeah, and I love how so Redhead she does CPR on him and mouth to mouth, and then he's all like, and then he vomits on her. And then she's all like, and then he's all like, "Kevin, did it look like we were making out?" And he's like, "For a little bit." And he's like, "Awesome." And I'm all like, okay, all right. Well,
you watched that video later.
Yeah, but the spirit of the dolphin was in him though, so he definitely
spirit of the dolphin. Yeah, exactly.
The bottlenose dolphin.
It was specific. That's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, so good. Okay.
Beer run. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Okay, so then we get a pretty great scene where he is gonna, I don't know, luge down a street on this like makeshift what mechanics use when they get into a car. He's just getting on one and going down the street or whatever. Mm-hmm. It looked like a skateboard with some hockey sticks taped to it.
Yeah.
But
it's a homemade luge board.
Yeah, luge. Okay. So I love how he's all like and then he goes, "My safe word will be whiskey." And he's like, "Why are you saying it like that? Why am I saying what way?" Yeah.
Whiskey.
And everything. What I'm saying it right. And he's like, "Never mind." He's like, "Forget it." He's like, I will forget it.
The will part is always what got me.
Yeah.
Will doesn't have an H, obviously. So
right on. The only thing that would have made this scene a million times better if he would have said, "Feel the rhythm, feel the ride. Feel the rhythm. It's bobsledding time." Okay, that's another movie. Okay. All right. So, and then I love how again, Rod is not long for this world because 5 seconds into this thing, he's like, whiskey, whiskey, whiskey. And I'm all like, what? You barely have gone down this
What did
hill.
he think they were gonna do when he yelled his
Exactly.
safe word
They were
as
going to
he's
stop
running?
him. They were going to ring the bell. They were going to ring the bell.
love
And that
it so much when
They
he
should have
lets my
used the
safe
rope
word
that was
in.
on that bell.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Exactly.
I'm
Like,
like, what is
Tied a
he
rope
gonna
around
do? Oh my god.
yeah, Randy, what did you say?
So tie the rope around his waist and pull.
That would have been so good. That would have been good. That's what they should have done. That would have made it better.
But that rope would have broken. He would have kept going anyway. Just
Right.
like the one with the
Right.
bell.
And that is
Go
so good.
on there too, you know.
Yeah. So he ends up running into an RV,
Mhm.
and the owner of the RV comes out, and he's like,
Oh
what did you do to my RV? And he's like, which one of you am I gonna kick a new dick hole in and everything?
Yeah.
And then
Danny
Rico.
McBride.
Danny Bride, yeah, he
Rico.
yeah, Rico, thank you. He just starts beating the shit out of this dude, like right off the bat. And he's like,
Yeah.
I go to church every Sunday. You're letting the demons out of me. And I'm all like,
Yes.
and then
Trash can.
yeah, exactly. I love how he throws the trash on him, but not the trash can. He just throws that to the
The
side.
Just
garbage.
trash.
Yeah, exactly.
Only
Um,
worth the garbage.
But
Exactly.
they're the ones that fuck this shit up.
Right, exactly,
They didn't
exactly.
do anything.
Yeah, right. And I love how this is my hat now. This is my hat now.
My hat.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
hat.
I'm like, if that guy is married, like his wife is so dry right now because he just got beat up by this fat son.
Oh.
So I'm all like, yeah. So then we get the dance, which I'm gonna tell you right now. I didn't know that jazzercise this was a dance, you know, like, but it was pretty great. It was pretty great. I loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
And they were still doing it in the background while they were.
Yeah, and
It was going on for a while.
yeah, Rico was being very mean to Kevin. He was just pushing him, and I'm all like,
It was
you need
so
to calm.
funny.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, you need to calm the fuck down. You're being mean to that little kid. So then, that's when Rod is gonna ask Redhead out. He's gonna be like, "Hey, you want to go out and everything?" But we're interrupted by
The boy.
Jonathan. Thank you, Vetta. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know you're bad with names.
I am
got
bad
you.
with names. I'm so bad with names. Okay, so Jonathan shows up. Now I have to be honest with you. I liked Jonathan. And I was like,
love Jonathan. We needed more of Jonathan.
Jonathan's like a frat bro, and I totally understood Jonathan. I was like, try Tao, you know. I was like, ooh, and everything. So I was like,
You and your damn try-towel.
yeah, I feel like me and Jonathan would have been best buds. Like when
Just
he was
man,
like,
what a tool. Like that's all I thought. I was
Yeah.
like, what a tool.
What was his
Oh,
friend's
see,
name? Sullivan.
Sullivan,
You could-
Sully. I was all like, oh my god. You know,
Sully.
yeah, exactly. We all had a Sully in our lives and everything. So, okay, so Jonathan shows up, but then he asks her the best question of the movie, and that is, in a fight, who would win, grilled cheese or a taco? So I just want to take a moment and ask you guys, in a fight, who do you think would win, grilled cheese or a taco? Alex, Randy, you go first because you're our guest.
Oh.
You're first.
If it's too much pressure, Alex can go first. It's
Okay,
fine.
well, I'm a grilled cheese and he's a taco, so I'd probably
Mm-hmm.
represent
Grilled
grilled cheese. Grilled cheese.
cheese. All right, Alex, what about
In a
you?
fair fight, grilled cheese, like they said in the movie. But the taco thing, a little bit on the.
I mean, I love tacos.
But
Who doesn't?
no, it was
Communists.
good because with Randy with the grilled cheese, like it's a grilled cheese randwich.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I am on Team Taco.
Team Taco.
She loves her randwiches, so it's funny.
Right on.
And
All right.
a quote from another show. But
Right on. Yeah, you know. All right, Betta, what about you? What do you think? Taco or grilled cheese?
Oh, you know me. I get way too into my own head, and grilled cheese is not something I can eat. And I can only eat one type of taco. So in my world, it's a taco. It doesn't even, I can't get past the food
What's the one
part.
type of taco you can eat?
Just a corn tortilla. I can't eat gluten.
Oh, gotcha.
Just
I'm one of those
tortilla.
weirdos.
Oh, yeah,
that
you're
if
one
I
of
eat
those-
gluten, I die and go to. I
I'm
go to the
allergic to
hospital and die.
gluten. Yeah, since when? Anyways.
Since I had COVID and almost
Yeah.
died.
Everybody's allergic to gluten now. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, okay.
I
I'm saying.
have
We've all had
celiac too,
COVID.
Jack. I'm gonna gluten the shit
And
out of
then
you.
bloated.
Yeah, what? I'm gonna gluten the shit out of you. What does that even
Yup.
mean? Anyways,
I don't
okay. That's like a dad.
What your
That's
words
what I say to my
are.
kids. Like,
I'm
can I
on
have a
Team
cookie?
Taco.
All right, T, we got one for grilled cheese, one for taco. Vetta, what was yours? Taco?
I said taco.
Taco. Oh man, we're tied. I'm grilled cheese. I love grilled cheese.
Oh,
Gotta put like some
Do you add
Gruyere in
things to your grilled
there, and
cheese,
gotta
or do you
toast the
just
outside
full
with some
on cheese and
Parmesan.
bread?
Oh, hold on, Randy. What did you say?
I said you gotta put Gruyere and a tomato,
Yeah, that okay.
and then toast the outside with Parmesan.
Well, see, that's how I put I just do it like a regular, but I use Gouda. That's my favorite. No, not yeah, Gouda. I use Gouda and
Yeah,
everything.
I'm
a
a
smoked
cheese-
Gouda and a Munster cheese is when I make it with the kids, and you have to butter both sides of the bread,
Both sides.
yes.
not just one. I mean, I
Correct.
can make a hell of a grilled cheese. I just can't
Mhm.
eat them.
Right on.
Mm.
And I love
gluten-free
how
bread sucks ass, so you can't even people who say
I will,
that.
I will, I will do my research, and I will make sure I find a grilled cheese I can make for you.
right on. Well,
Promise I will.
I have tried everything, even making my own gluten-free bread. It just is not the same.
all right. Well, we'll
Aw.
get into the Cooking Network later.
Yeah.
Okay, so but I just want you guys, you know what the crappiest car is in the world?
I'm sorry. What was
Corvette.
The crappiest car in the world. You know what the crappiest car in the world is? A Corvette. Yeah, a Corvette.
that? I don't think so.
It's the Tesla truck.
Tesla
That
truck is the
shit
crappiest
is
car.
So
Oh, well, that's the
I
ugliest
love
car
the
in
Tesla
world,
truck. Okay,
for
anyway,
sure.
sorry. We're good. So okay.
Get out of
So,
here.
I
Get out of
I do love how when Rod is doing his girl push-ups, how Kevin's building up.
though.
What'd you say?
It doesn't show the push-ups that he does, but we all
Yeah,
assume.
you know.
There's no way. Even if you take Rod, the
It doesn't even
character,
look-
out and you go Andy Samberg by himself, he's not doing push-ups.
Yeah. It looked like to me he was just like dry humping the ground. Like it was just like it didn't look like he was doing real push-ups.
Yes.
So then I love how Kevin is building like a penguin. Is that clay? I was like, I don't know what's going on here, but why? What's
He went to arts and craft at Home Depot.
Wait, what'd you say, Randy? Hold on, I'm missing it.
it was like a Play-Doh.
Blade, yeah, I was.
Play-Doh penguin.
I was like, what's going on here, Kevin? I was like,
Crafts.
yeah, like, which I just want to say also, and I said it before, but I love Kevin's like fashion in this movie. He's very like Chucky, I'm a good guy doll, very this whole movie, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Like the shirt
Collared
he's
t-shirt.
exactly. I'm like, I would wear all of these shirts. They're great.
Oh my god, he's
So-
great.
Yeah, I love how when okay, so they're finally gonna have dinner because Frank feels healthy enough to have dinner with them and everything. And I love how he's like, yeah, we're working hard to get the money, you could say thanks. And he's like, no, it's okay. And then they end up fighting or whatnot.
And he yells, have fun being married to Satan.
Yeah, have fun being married to Satan. So good. So good. And I love it. I love it. And okay. And by the way, I just want to say that Frank was healthy enough finally to have dinner, but then he like totally attacks him. I'm all like, he's a lot healthier than dinner, I think. I have questions if Frank is even sick at this point in time.
Yeah.
So then we hop over to more strength training or whatnot. And this part didn't really get me. Like, I was like, how is this helping you except for a crash? But he's got on like a bunch of pillows and like, and then he gets hit by a car. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm like, this isn't training. This is just abuse at this point in time. Yeah. Did you guys get any rationale to this whole training? Which, by the way, I love the pillows. that he's
Rico
got.
wanted to hit him with his
Yeah,
van.
that
and-
probably, yeah, exactly. I did love. Didn't the van have like a mattress taped to the front of it? I thought that was.
I think at one point, yeah.
I did love the pattern of the pillows. They were like pink with like white flower pattern. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's from his mom's couch. You know it. Somebody's
Oh,
mom's couch.
from his mom's mom.
Yeah,
Everyone's
Yeah.
grandma had that couch in the
Yeah.
late 90s.
yeah, and he had like bubble wrap on, but I feel like it was the bubble wrap from before that they had popped. So I was like, that's useless at this point. Yeah, so.
Yeah, the celebration bubble wrap.
Right on. And okay, so to celebrate that or whatever, they go back to that little like cafe, which I just want to say this is the last time we go to the cafe, and there's a reason why, but I do want to talk about this. So I love how they go to the cafe and he goes up to the counter and he's like, how much do I owe you? and she's like 7.25 or whatever. And then he just dumps a bunch of change on the counter, which I was like, rude. I was like, this isn't a parking ticket that you're trying to make a YouTube video for. This is like a friggin' like a hot dog, asshole. And Kathy
Getting paid like $10 an hour, and now she's got to
yeah, she's got to deal with this asshole's bullshit. And so Kathy, she gives him back 2.25 or something like
39.
yeah. Look at you, wow. Okay, so I didn't know you were an accountant. Okay, so then he
Her husband is, so she has
She's
a little
got
bit
it.
of it.
right on. So okay, so he then to try to make Redhead jealous, I guess, or whatever, he asks Kathy out, and then she accepts. Which I was all like, I mean, that's fine. I didn't think Kathy was like overwhelmingly attractive, but I was like, that's fine, get yours and everything. And so then
He serves a purpose.
yeah, for sure. And I love how after everything he does, he's so obsessed with getting Frank's respect that he goes home to then brag to Frank while sleeping, that he got a date. Yeah, that he got a date. And he's like, just want you to know, I got a date and everything. And Frank's not even in bed. He's like, who are you talking to? And everything. It's so good. Yeah. And I just want to be like,
voice too.
yeah, never sneak up on a man that's been in a chemical fire. Anyways, so then and he has told Isla Fisher that they're gonna make it a double date. Okay. And so he's headed off to his double date on his scooter, which I have a great story about a scooter and dating, but it's a long
But
story.
isn't Rico's van following behind him like
Is it?
flashing
Oh,
the
I didn't.
lights?
I wasn't paying that close attention. But if that
There's
is
a van
true,
behind
that
him, and
is
it's, like,
great.
flashing
That is
lights.
great.
Really, I
Didn't
have to
notice.
rewatch the movie
Now I
again.
have, yeah, exactly. Now I have to rewatch it because I'm all like, that's great if they did that. And like one of those little nuggets of goodness. And so they go to TGI Fridays or where the hell they go. And Kathy has not showed up. And Jonathan, of course, is like, she's not showing up, fucker. Let's get some drinks.
You've
And I'm
been
like,
stood up.
yeah, you've been stood up. And he's,
Peppers.
exactly. And so they get the atomic Dr. Peppers, which I'm all like, Jonathan, me and you would be friends, I feel like, because I'd be like, yeah, let's have another round. Okay.
They're
So-
like, hey, let's wait for the chicken. He's like, no, we can have drinks.
Yeah,
while
we
we're
have drink.
waiting."
Exactly.
That's
You don't have to
why
wait. and everything.
Jonathan and me.
Yeah,
we're
we're
connected in that
besties.
way.
Okay, here's my question. Yeah, right. So here's my question for you guys. Do you guys think Kathy stood him up because he paid in change and she's like, fuck this guy, I'm gonna screw him over like he just screwed me over? Or do you think she just like died?
Oh, I don't think Kathy was interested at all.
No.
It was just a whole like, get the fuck away from me. Are you like
He
the,
was not showing up
in that
from the
scene-
get-go.
in that scene? And it was just like, are you hitting on me? Like, leave me alone. He's like, no,
Right on.
no.
No,
Right on.
and he made it loud.
She had no interest. at
Right on.
all. Like, there was
And
no.
we technically never see her say yes,
That's a
No.
great point too. That's a great point too, Vetta. He could have made that all up. That's a great
right?
point.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think the whole thing was purposely made up, but
Right on.
I agree.
So I just want to say I love that when they go there and then Jonathan leaves the table, which I thought was a little rude because I wouldn't have left. I would have just kept drinking. But
But
to
it's
go
your
say
boy Sullivan. You
that's
gotta
true.
leave.
That's true.
Right.
Sullivan.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why didn't he just
Sully.
invite Sullivan
That's
over?
if I saw a fellow
He
tri
stops
towel.
at the table. Why he
That's
got to go to
true.
the bar?
That's true. If I saw a fellow tri-towel, I'd be like, I'm gonna go say hi and everything. So then so he goes off and he's like checking out other women, which I just want to say, I think Isla Fisher is very hot. And the woman that he was checking out, I didn't think she was as
Ugh,
hot
and the fact
as
that she
Isla
was married
Fisher.
to Borat. What a waste.
Oh, what a waste, right? Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
still
what,
married?
Mhm.
yeah, they're still
They're
married.
divorcing.
Yeah, but then they have babies and everything, which I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, and she
everything.
lives in Australia, and he moved back to America or something like
Yeah,
that.
whatever. It doesn't matter. Fuck those two. Okay, anyways. So okay. So I love how he explains the story because we finally get the story of his dad and how he died, right? And he's like, my dad
How he
was
died.
yeah, how he died. Yeah. He was a
Don't let your dads eat pie.
yeah, exactly.
I hate
like-
pie.
Yeah, oh, I love pie. I love
Pie's
pie.
gross.
Hair
It's
pie.
the
Anyways,
worst.
so then
Whoa,
he
whoa.
said Randy caught it. Okay. So
I can
so
make
he-
a really good pie. I just don't like them.
Yeah, anyways, he's like explaining how his dad died, and he's like he would always test the jumps out, and he would never get the credit and everything. And finally, when he decided to go off on his own, he died and he smashed his skull and his teeth into grounded
His
into
front tire popped and
yeah,
exploded.
exploded. Yeah, and he's like, and then he died instantly the next
in
day.
other
2 days later.
Yeah.
words, he was the fluffer.
Wait, what'd you say?
In other words, he was the fluffer.
He was the fluffer, exactly. Exactly. So, all right.
Sorry. That
No,
I know.
you're good. No, that was great. That was great. There's actually a movie called The Fluffer. Anyways, so then the next day he goes into full gear, right? They are going to earn this money and they are going to do birthday parties and then we get a montage of all this stuff to earn money. And yeah, exactly. We get Montage Man again. And one of them is he lights himself on fire at a birthday party. He puts himself in a barrel and gets thrown into a pool, which I was like, this is very dangerous, you guys. This is not stunt work. This is just
They can't find the key.
and then Damon, he shoots it off with a gun. I was like,
He pulls out his gun.
exactly. I'm all like, that's very dangerous. Also, I'm like, you guys are not being safe at all. I love. What was that?
I said not thinking it through.
Not thinking it all through. I did love how the one guy was all like, they grow up so fast, and she's like, get the fuck off my property and everything. He's like, okay.
That woman.
Yeah, because I would have been the same way. I was like,
I
this is
did
it.
love
Of
the
course.
employee retreat one though, where he blows himself or he gets blown up and he's like, "You're the worst stunt man ever," and
Wow.
he's like, "What?"
And he's like, "You're the worst stunt man ever." No, I heard you. That was just really mean. I was like, that's good. And the one where he's just a human pinata, and he's just, I'm like, what? And my favorite part about that was that he dumped the candy, and then Bill Hader's character just runs over and is picking it up, like they're saving.
Can pick up the candy and not the kid.
Like they're saving money on the candy so they can reuse it so it can be a pinata later. It's so
Well,
good.
then later he's like crawled out of the backyard and the kids are still following him.
Yeah, and
hitting
Kevin
with
beats
the
him too,
baseball.
like with a Rhodesian fighting stick. I'm all like, isn't that the same thing? The same Home Depot stick. So then, yeah, exactly, Rhodesian mop. I love also that him and Isla Fisher are doing like what Shang-Chi or whatever, Tai Chi. There we go. Yeah, by the lake and everything. And he's like, Sensei, when will I learn the great move of making someone crap their pants? And she's all like, stop calling me Sensei. Yeah, it's so good. I'm all like, no. I was like, and then I was hoping that at some point, Isla Fisher would be like, you have much to learn, grasshopper. But she didn't say that line. That would have been so good.
Nothing like that. No.
Yeah, nothing like that. But and then she does the move on him, and he's like, well, that didn't work and everything. Which I just wanted to ask a real quick question. When was the last time you guys crapped your pants? Randy, go.
I was probably like 3.5 years old.
Oh, this is not a great story.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
It's not.
it's pretty good. I was wearing purple corduroy overalls,
Nice.
and I went under the kitchen table because I was scared. I don't know. That's literally a memory, and I'm only saying that because I've had quite a few things to drink. I'm really sorry.
No,
That's totally
no,
good.
you're good.
No, that's fine.
Well,
As an adult, I've been able to contain myself.
Oh,
You're
you
lucky.
haven't
You're
partied
lucky.
hard enough
Yeah.
then.
Alex, what about you?
All right, so like a crap my pants story for me was actually one of those thought it was a fart.
Nice.
It was fun. It was actually dog sitting.
Nice.
My auntie. Back
Were
home.
you at your house or her house?
I was at her place,
Her
and I was sitting in her recliner watching TV, watching the dogs. You know, they were a cute little. I don't even know what kind of dogs they were, but
Yeah, a
doesn't matter.
Bichon Franche.
It was a Bichon. It was a Bichon.
Nice.
It was two little
Women
Bichons.
love
So cute.
Bichons. I don't get it.
But it was just I was watching TV, felt fine, everything felt good, and I was like, well, I got to fart, and then I just let it out because I was by myself.
Nice.
I had no restrictions, and then
No restrictions.
Crap my pants.
Literally.
So good. So good. All
I
right,
was
Vetta.
like, all right, well, I gotta go home. real quick.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Hang on, dogs. I'll be right back.
But that's exactly what you have to do. You have to leave. No explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Vetta, what about you?
So You were at my house when it happened. It was
Oh my God, this is so
Not
good.
me.
my
Mhm.
husband's
Not me.
30th. Was it his 30th birthday or
Yes.
his yeah. And you and me and I and our older brother just got hammered. Like we had
So
puking rallies.
hammered.
That's how
Yeah.
hard we went that
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
And the next morning I got up and I couldn't decide if I needed to shit more or throw up more.
No. Well, your body made the decision for you.
I decided, yeah, my
Oh,
body
they
and
both
I
tried.
fought and we win. I went into the bathroom and I was like, I have to throw up. So I went to throw up, and when I threw up, I was wrong. I did not have to throw up.
Ew, you're disgusting.
So I'm literally bent over the toilet and I'm like, what the hell? So then I figure out what's going on and I like take everything off, get on the toilet, and then I throw up and I'm just,
Nice.
so my husband comes in,
Oh,
tells me to go change my clothes and he goes, I'm gonna get you clothes, change your clothes,
My-
put those in the sink. And
my
then I
favorite-
go into bed. And this dumbass comes into my room and climbs into bed with me and goes, I'm so hungover. And I'm like, I'm not hungover. I'm still fucking drunk. And I tell him the story and he like almost falls out of the
Hey,
bed.
my
laughing
favorite
so
part
hard.
about this story is that you shit your pants in the bathroom. You're just shitting in the bathroom, not in the toilet. Like,
Yeah, and then turns around
Yeah.
in the toilet and then throws up on the floor.
It's so good, so good.
I threw up in like half on the floor and half in the trash can. I did have enough time to grab the trash can, but I missed because there was so much. Like it was just coming out every orifice. I had no control at all.
oh my
Right on.
gosh, girl, that is.
What about you, Matt? Come on. I bet yours was sooner.
I won't tell
I
you the I
know.
won't tell you the
Sorry.
most I won't tell you the most recent one because it's not as good as the one right before that. So I shit myself.
Right before
With-
that was literally like the week before.
Yeah, it happened within a week span. So the best time, yeah, I
I
was
told
at
him he needed to go to the doctor. No,
no,
one should.
I eat a lot of protein, so it was just a little too much. So we went to Home Depot because we go once a month to do those kids workshops with our kids and everything. So we're sitting there, and I was like, "All right, I gotta go shit." So I'm gonna go and everything. But the bathroom was at the other end of the store, so I had to walk all the way. Halfway there, I'm just like, I had to stop. I was like, "It's oh my God!" And then it just came out and everything. I was like, "I'm shitting my pants right now." So then I ran. I like waddled to the bathroom the rest of the way. And I get in there, and of course, it's full except for one stall and
Is
everything.
this
I
the
was like,
Home Depot our dad works at?
no, yes, it
Oh,
is. It
that-
is the Home Depot that works at. So then I'm sitting there in the stall next to two dudes, whatever, I don't know, jerking off and everything. So then I'm sitting there and I can't take my underwear because I was going to take my underwear off and throw it away, which thank God I wore underwear because I normally don't. But I was like, because then I would have just
Underwear is there. Underwear is
yeah.
insurance.
So then I was like, so I was sitting there and I was like, well, I can't take it off because then the people are going to, I was mortified. I was like, I can't take it off because then they're going to know that I shit my pants. So I'm like, I'm just going to pack my ass. I'm just going to pack it with all this toilet paper. So I put so much toilet paper, like I wiped it out and then I put so much toilet paper in my underwear and then in my crack and everything. And I'm all like, I'm just
So
going
you
to, and
look
then,
like you were gonna go fight your stepfather. In the
yeah,
basement.
exactly. So I get back to my wife and I'm like, we need to hurry this shit up now. And she's like, what's the matter? I was like,
Go.
and she's like, what's the matter? I was like, I shit myself and everything. She's like, you did. And I was like, yes. So we need to wrap this, this bird feeder up and get the fuck out of here and everything. And so we get to the car. She's like, I don't want you in my car. And I was like, I am not getting in the car right now. We need to go home and everything. And then she had to clean it and everything because like, ugh, whatever. But I was like, there's no.
I would have made you Uber home.
Fuck then. What? No. I don't know.
Would the Uber even let you get in?
No, I would have taken the keys. I was getting there. Okay. All right,
Okay,
back to
crazy
the
Uber
movie.
stories.
All right.
But,
Okay.
yeah, we'll go back to the movie.
All right, that was a little fun tangent.
Jeez.
That's going to be a separate video. Okay, so
Wow.
then Rod, he is passing Kevin's room and Kevin is creating a video of all of Rod's greatest moments and everything. Now, I have to be honest with you, with this video and the movie that they create, I honestly thought it was fun. I thought it was a good video. I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was a good video.
I always love the boom versus
yeah,
bam.
exactly.
It was good. It was
Yeah, exactly. So they set up a movie where, and this is where they get the Asian guy to just physically attack people with
Richardson.
paper. Yeah, he's just littering all over. and dancing like an asshole.
Only doing
The one move.
One
one
move.
move.
He's like a one-hit wonder, but with dancing.
I cannot get over this, but I love the fact that he has like a shit ton of paper and he goes, poof.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I love the woman.
Like someone's making it rain with paper and he's got to dance under it. Yeah.
I wonder because you know the woman that's walking and he just throws them all at her, that big
Yes,
step.
yes.
I wonder if this was like real people and they just did it and filmed it. And
It would have
that'd
been
be so good.
so great.
So
if
good.
that's what it was.
Yeah. Okay, so they decide they're going to make this into a feature-length film.
Yeah.
And they're going to screen it at $5 a pop, which I'm like, I don't know if I'd pay $5 for this.
I would.
And
well, there's not much going on in this small town, so everybody paid $5.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's a great point. I lived after high school. I did an internship in Wisconsin, and the population was so small, like you could fit the whole population into a gymnasium, and they had to go to the next town over to do a play and everything. They had to get people from the next town. Okay, so. I love how Bill Hader's there. He's like talking to those girls. He's like, yeah, I'm really a jack of all trades. I'm like, that just means, jobless.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
Ice rink.
I do everything. And they're like, that's so, yeah, exactly. And he's like, and they're like, and the girl's like, that's so cool. And clearly being sarcastic, he's like, yeah, it is fucking cool. And I was like, you need to calm
really
down.
wish he would have said, you want to go for a ride on my Zamboni?
Yeah. You want to ride or do you want to ride? And I want to ride, the one where I don't have to be near you. Yeah, exactly. So, okay.
He would have thought he was being offensive and he would have been being for real.
Right. So they're playing this movie. And again, I thought the movie was great. Everybody was laughing, but I was like, Rod was looking at this in the wrong way because I looked at it as almost like a Jackass kind of movie,
Mhm.
and he was expecting it to be like Spielbergian, and people would just be like, at the end it'd be like, oh my God, I saw Jesus, and everything. But no, I was like, but he took it the wrong way, and he's like, turn it off, you're an idiot, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? So he goes up to the projection room and he just throws that fucker out the window, which I was like, well, that is harsh. Why don't you just unplug it? That would have solved the problem.
Your money.
Yeah, and then he had to pay for it with all of his I love how he just put the Frank Fund.
The Frank Fund jug
which
that happened.
And the coffee.
Yeah, the coffee mug, the coffee holder. But I love when he was putting the money into the water jug, how he was putting in the dollar bills, and then he had to shake it. I was like, we've all been there, my dude, with one of those. It was great. Okay, so then we get the reveal of how his father and how he really died, how he was really just a cashier at the store, and he died eating pie, choking on pie. And this, which I just want to say, I feel like this is kind of a bad parenting moment because she lied to her son for how long? And you just could have told them right off the bat.
And everybody else knew.
Adulthood.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, they have no, they don't think he can handle anything. They don't tell him nothing.
Yeah, clearly
not
he
about
can't.
Frank, not about his dad.
We
For
told
sure.
Evan, but we didn't tell you.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
didn't think you could handle it.
Which I feel like, yeah, because Rod's definitely on the spectrum, and you're just like, yeah, okay, yeah, you can't even handle the small things. Yeah. So I love how he just transitions from hot rod to business rod. Like he is wearing that shirt and tie so much that
he's living my dream. Did you see how much alcohol he had in that car?
Yes. I was going to comment on it.
Remember Supermarket Sweep? I feel like he was playing Supermarket Sweep only in the liquor store. And I was like, my dream.
Yeah, we're like, hey, bestie, like, you want to start a podcast with us?
The tie with the polo shirt.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if you guys
long sleeve polo shirt.
Right, exactly. Which I didn't think was a bad look, but it spoke very much like Liberty Mutual to me. But yeah. I did love how he woke up when Bill Hader calls him. And he's wearing the tie and the shirt. I was like, "What's going on here? What you're wearing this to sleep?"
He drank a lot of that alcohol.
Well, I mean, that makes perfect sense and everything. And I do love how the group confront him outside
Tried to have an intervention in the liquor store.
Yeah, and I love how Danny McBride's Rico was all like, I don't even cry, and water's coming out of my eyes and everything. And I'm all like, that's insane and everything. So then, go
I
ahead.
am very curious on like how much do you guys think was in that cart? Like how much he had to pay for that full cart?
Well, clearly he didn't buy it all because there's only 3 paper bags in the cart when he's leaving.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
I was very disappointed about.
With the full cart, like what price do you think it was?
But then when he gets hit,
$546.72.
$546. All right.
Yeah.
It's very specific. I feel like you recreated this.
we should
I
Google
wish-
it and make it back.
Yeah,
You
we
would
should.
make your liquor store guy go pop.
I would.
I was thinking at least like 1,200.
Yeah, I was saying like
at least
nine-
1,200.
For sure, because he had some really
7.36.
Maybe,
he had
yeah.
a lot of expensive liquor in there that like for a liter bottle, it's like a good 40-50 bucks.
I don't know. What was that
Is
last thing he
there
picked up? I feel like that was just Tom Collins mix. And I'm like,
I love a
okay,
good
well,
Tom Collins.
That's true, yeah.
Tom Collins.
Yeah, right. So, but it doesn't even matter because it all gets ruined when he gets hit by that van.
No!
I'm all like, you
Such
just
a waste.
It's such a
I'd be
waste. I'm
so
all like,
pissed off.
I would be licking
But-
it up. I'd be like, that's a waste. You can't waste that at all.
I'd be like, we don't have to claim this to insurance, but you need to replace my liquor.
Right,
It
exactly.
looks like so much more booze on the ground when he gets hit. When he gets
Yeah.
hit, it looks like it's a whole cart and not just 2 bottles. It looks like the whole cart broke.
Yeah. So then we get where Bill Hader calls him to. He's like, "Hey man, can you come take me to the hospital?"
I love
he's
this
like,
part so
yeah,
much.
and he's like, it's just probably precautionary, and I'm like, it's not fucking precautionary, asshole. And I love when he gets into the car and they just look at each other, it's like and everything.
Screams.
He's like, is it noticeable? And he's like, yeah, it's a fucking.
A little bit. You know his suitcase that he's carrying? Our family had that set of luggage. Like,
Oh my
when we
goodness.
seen that,
That's
I was
great.
like, oh my God.
I wish
we
they would have
had that.
kept it. That would have been great.
No, like mom and dad. Like when we
I know.
were-
I wish they would have kept
Oh,
it because
yeah.
I wouldn't. I mean, maybe they still do have it. If they do, I don't know.
I
where it is.
bet it's in the basement that flooded.
Right,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure, for sure. Okay, so I love that he takes him to the hospital and he explains the story. He's like, yeah, my buddy who is a part of Lonely Island, he's like, he had some acid and he's like, I can't take this acid. I'm working.
I gotta work.
Yeah, he's like, I'll take it and everything. And also a small piece of me wants to be like, I don't know if that's how acid works. Like, I don't think you slow down, but at the same time, haven't done it, so I don't know.
I'll tell you about it later.
Okay,
Yeah,
great,
sure.
great. So I love how when he gets to the hospital, I don't know if you guys noticed, but when he goes in, the nurse like comes at him and he's like ready to like do attack her with his suitcase. And then he just like sits on the ground and I'm all like
Security guards telling him to lay down.
Yeah. And my whole thing was like, I feel like there's a lot of stuff behind, like in the background. I'm like, why don't we get a movie on that? I'd watch that. I'd watch that shit.
He's ready to go to the airport and not. The
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, he may stay for a couple of days because there's some days.
Yeah.
I would love for them to have opened the suitcase and like there's just like chiclets and like a ribbon in there and stuff. Like,
It's whatever project he was working on.
Yeah,
when he
exactly.
put it in
or
there.
he just brought the
I
saw
just
with him.
decided to get on my
Yeah.
massage, you know,
Exactly.
just decided to.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so then he goes back home and I love how Kevin is karaokeing in his bedroom all by himself, singing to his stuffed animals.
Pajamas are awesome.
Yeah,
He's wearing a onesie.
right on. Yeah, which I who doesn't have one of those? Am I right? So I love, but I do love that he's singing to his stuffed animals, and I'm all like,
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. So then him and Kevin and Rod make up, and they're cool beans, which we got this cool beans.
Oh, they're
song.
so cool,
Love
B.
that. So
Cool
much.
beans,
Cool
which
beans.
cool beans.
Cool
Cool
beans.
beans.
Cool beans.
Beans.
Cool beans.
Beans.
Cool beans. I might remix this. Anyways, so
It'll be a short later.
yeah, cool beans. Anyways, so then
Cool beans.
I want to hear it. beans.
Yeah. So then we get that that Kevin has told him that their video has been downloaded like 1,200 times or whatever, and it's super popular. It went viral before viral was a thing, and that they're gonna get sponsored to do the jump.
But hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, but it went viral for 100 viewers.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, exactly.
Specific.
And it was so much that
big.
the AM radio station, they want to sponsor him.
Which I feel like this guy from the AM, he really just wants to get rid of this station. He doesn't want it anymore.
Which I just want to talk about real quick, his tattoo, if we could, real quick, because okay, I just want to say that this rang true a little bit. Okay, so the tattoo is he's got Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes,
Yes.
peeing. And
Two directions.
in two directions. On one side, it's an FM radio, and on the other side, it's a color TV. And his explanation of why there was two streams was, he's like, I'd like to think that he had sex the night before, and there's just a little bit of blockage to create two streams. I just want to say, this is science. This is fact. This is fact. It is true. It does happen. I know from experience. It has happened before.
I'm not even joking when I say this. I will give you $1,000 if you get that tattooed on your stomach.
Only 1,000 for that? I'm not doing that on my stomach. I'll do it on my back.
That tattoo is already $400.
It's the word. The word is residue.
Yeah. But I just want to say, when I first saw this, I was like, that's a real thing. I just want to say that right now. It's a real thing. It's totally a real thing.
It is. It is.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and I love how he's like, and at the top here, the AM radio is completely dry, and it's like, and it's on a magic carpet. Which he didn't even explain the magic carpet. I was like, is it floating then, or what's going on? Is it just like what's happening there? Okay.
I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah. So then, Redhead, she gets a call from Rod on her flip phone, which I loved, her white flip phone.
But she's too busy cleaning Jonathan's bathroom.
Right on, yeah. Well, women have hobbies. Leave her alone and everything. So she's like, he's like, I'll answer it, and he's all like, and I loved how he's all like, are you writing this down, or are you just waving your hand in the air? And I was like, yeah, because we've all fucking done that, Rod. Nobody writes down your dumb shit and everything. So then he tells her, hey, tell her that I'm going to do the jump and everything. So then they finally get to do the jump, right? It's the day of the jump. And I did love how we also got a montage of Dave building the bike. And then we also got him doing his Tai Chi by the lake, which, by the way, there's a man who is
Molesting
what did he? Which I have a question for you. While I was watching oil, it was baby oil.
Only baby oil.
Yeah, which I was like, where's Diddy? Where's Diddy at right now? Because I was like, where did this guy was this guy in the movie previously? Because I was like, I missed him the whole time.
I didn't see him
party
fishing.
And he just showed up.
He just showed up because I'm all like, I was all like, while I was rewatching this, I was like, wait, where was he at the first time you were at this lake? I don't remember him.
No.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Yeah, I was like, listen here, Jason Voorhees, you need to calm it down because you're being way weird. And I love how as he was like pulling out, he's just like rubbing his arm. And I'm like, this is so. I was like, but he's but he's very glistening. Yeah, very glistening. So okay, so then they are walking through town to get to the ramp and everything. And the whole town just starts following him, which I was all like, what's going on here? What is this? A march to Selma? What's happening right now? This is so weird. And then they start singing. And then a dude just throws a trash bin through a storefront, and they just start looting. And I'm all like, what's happening right now? Like, I forgot this part. This is narts and everything. What is this? Vetta, what are you doing over there? What's going on? You're just all like this and everything. What's happening? Did you spill something?
I'm sending a text message to get more alcohol.
Gotcha. Okay, never mind. I don't care.
Are you door dashing?
No, it's husband dashing. He's upstairs.
Oh,
Um,
that's the best.
So I love this riot breaks out. There's bagpipes all of a sudden. Women are screaming like, like their children are about. There's firebombing cars. It's crazy bones and everything. I think I saw a person in a wheelchair. I was like, what's happening right now?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So
You're over.
and then I love how they're all like, man, that like Rico's like, man, that was really weird. People just started grabbing stuff, that's really. And meanwhile, he's holding a TV, and I'm all like, you were looting too, you asshole.
He
So
was
good,
the first one to start going too.
right on, yeah, so good.
God.
So then it's the day of the thing. We'll flip over to Isla Fisher and Jonathan. So they're in the car. He's gonna go in and grab some alcohol and some dick hats. What did he? Our dick gloves and everything. Which I'm all like,
they
what
can
a
bang later.
yeah. So in case we're gonna bang later, and Isla Fisher, she hears the radio thing and she's all like, you know what, Jonathan, we're done. And he's like, babe, which I have to say,
Come on, babe,
Yeah.
babe.
yeah, exactly. I have to say, I don't think Will Arnett pulls it off the same way that Andy Samberg does, because I didn't think it was as funny as Andy Samberg when it comes to anytime he was yelling out anything. Okay, so then we get over to the thing and he gets a new bike because the moped won't work. Which again, I'll tell you guys later. I'll tell you my moped story, my moped dating story, but because it's pretty good. Okay, so then we get this band singing their song, which I don't know if this was a what was that?
Oh,
She knows the band.
It's the Dan Band.
Oh, the Dan Band. Yeah.
Do you know? Okay, so
No, I don't know the Dan Band.
Wedding Singer.
Yeah, I love Wedding Singer.
Okay, so that band at the wedding, I fucking need you now tonight.
Oh, okay.
That's the Dan Band, and they're a real band.
Nice. Okay.
And,
all right.
and they play it in movies. Yeah, so that's the Dan Band. You gotta look them up. I saw them in concert.
Are they the same band that's in The Hangover at the end?
Yes,
I think so. I think so. Maybe I don't know. I don't remember. But
I'm looking them up right now.
Look them up. Yeah,
Yep.
the Dan Band. They're legit.
Right on.
And they just like they cover songs profanatively.
Nice. Well, I loved them. I love how they were singing ever, and the crowd was like, "Whoo!" And I was like, "Yeah, bring it on!" Yeah, so good.
Yep, they're in the Hangover. I knew I recognized them, and they're in Old School.
Nice, love it, love
Okay.
it.
I love Old School.
Love
Blue,
it.
my boy, Blue.
Okay, well, let's talk about Hot Rod. Okay, so then he gets out there, and I love his. I don't remember his speech because I didn't write it down, but he's all like, "Destiny is a fickle thing and everything," and he's all like, "And Frank, I'm gonna beat your ass or whatever and everything." I'm like, "Yeah, this is great."
It's on the whole on the microphone on the AM radio.
Right. So he gets. I don't remember the guy's name that plays the AM radio station guy.
Oh, he's on SNL and everything.
Yeah, I loved his description of it. He's like, and he's going up the tippy top of the ramps and everything. I was like, this is great. I'd listen to this. AM is back if it was like this. And so he channels all the spirit animal. Oh, Isla Fisher shows up real quick. Isla Fisher shows up and she makes out with him, but she opens up her mouth so wide, and
it looks like she's a praying mantis.
Yeah, she's
like ready to get on the hook.
Exactly. I was all like, I don't think you've ever. Yeah, exactly. I don't think she's ever kissed before because I was like, that is so like she just dislocated her jaw to kiss him, and I'm like, what's happening right now, Isla Fisher? You were dating Jonathan, so I'm all like, okay, well, whatever.
Dating or his housekeeper, who knows?
Yeah, so tomato, so then finally we get to he puts on his fake mustache, he invokes all the spirit animals, and he goes down the ramp. And as he's floating through the air, which I just loved, he's giving everybody the thumbs up. And then they do a wide shot, and he's like 15 feet away from the bike, which I'm like, how did you let this happen?
It's a legit thing that can happen. There's this massive water slide at a water park that you go on a tube, and it goes back and forth like a half pike, and the guy tells you before you go, to not let go of the handles. I shit you not.
my
I went
favorite-
to wave to one of my nieces or one of my sister-in-laws who was like 7 years old and wasn't big enough to ride it. I waved, and next thing I realized I
Okay,
was like 10
I have
feet
questions
above
now.
the
I
tube.
have things to say. First off, I love how you're comparing this to a water slide. Second off, water slides don't
I
have
wasn't comparing
handles.
it to a water
Slides
slide.
don't have handles. What are you talking about?
The
There's no.
raft stuff handle.
Listen, you need to listen.
You
Put
need
your
to tell a
ears on.
story better, honey. You
I said I was on a tube.
did
It was a
not
water
say
slide
it
with a
too.
tube. I did too say a tube because
Fine.
the tube had handles.
Fine.
You didn't listen.
Oh, why would I listen to you anyways?
I don't know why I'm here.
You
Why
have
am I here? Because you
you
don't
have
listen to
XX
me.
chromosomes. I don't listen to you. Anyways, so okay,
Well,
so
at
then
least I'm not an XYX like you.
yeah, don't be jealous. Anyways, okay, so he crashes. His bike totally ruins that band's equipment. I was like, you're gonna have to pay some money, radio station. And then he crashes out, and then he goes into what I like to call the Harry Potter heaven station. But instead of Dumbledore joining in there, it's the taco and the grilled cheese. And they get into a fight, and the taco wins. But
The street fight had to be a street fight.
for sure, because he had a chair. You can't fight with a chair.
Yeah,
That's that. Yeah.
It
And
would've been better. It needed a little shank.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so then he gets called back because Isla Fisher's all like, Rod, and everything. And he's all like, I'm gonna walk out of here and everything. And I love how he's all like, they try to pick him up, he's like, and I'm like, you're so melodramatic. So he gets up and they make it to $50,000 to save Frank. And
And he climbed all the way to the top of the ramp.
yeah,
just
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. And so they save Frank's life. And then we cut to black. But then we come back, right?
Mhm.
And it's their house. And it's 6 months
months
later.
later.
Yeah, 6 months later. Thank you. And I love that he put on Europe, and he's like preparing in to fight Frank. Okay, and
Yeah.
I love that he doesn't put like he's got like
a
a
lot
real,
less protection, like everything.
yeah, but he's got like a little wisp of a mustache
Yeah.
and everything.
That he literally is combing.
Oh, he's combed
He's coming. Yeah. So he goes in, and I love how he comes in and Frank hits him with his Rhodesian stick, and he's like, "We haven't even started yet," and I'm like, "You have now, fucker."
Never underestimate your opponent.
Exactly. So they start fighting, and they break through a wall again. They have wrecked so much. I love when he also. Sorry,
Through the whole side of the house.
yeah, I love when he throws the ninja star, and it like lands in his shoulder. He's like, and you have ninja stars and everything. So good. So then they go through the wall, which I'm all like, you guys, you're gonna need another 15 grand to fix this house. Like, you guys suck. And there's a whole like banquet in the backyard. And he finally beats Frank, and he does the your shit your pants move or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. And
What?
yeah, exactly.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, holy shit.
Yeah. And then that's the end of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is just a real quick scream of him, punching the air and everything.
Yes.
So I have to just say, like, I felt like this was a great end to the movie.
Mhm.
Because you'd think you'd end it with him getting the jump and everything, but no, it was him, fucking up
Beating
Frank.
his ass.
Beating his
Yeah,
ass.
yeah, exactly.
That's
Which Frank
the goal.
Exactly, which Frank deserved it, because I feel like he's been beating that kid's ass since he was like 10, which is abuse. And so, yeah, so all right. Now I wanted to ask you guys a couple more questions, but before we do, I wanted to ask you guys if you wanted to talk about anything before we wrap things up that I missed, or if you wanted to say a line that I missed or whatever. Was there anything that I missed that you wanted to talk about? Randy, what about you?
Man, I don't think so. I think we covered it all.
Yeah,
we watched it again this morning, and oh man, it was really awesome bringing back an oldie
Yeah.
and goodie.
Goody.
And yeah, no, You did great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the thumbnail will be hard for this video.
Yeah.
Alex, what about you? Was there anything you wanted to talk about that I missed that we?
No, it was almost like a rewatch a movie talking to you, like
Right on,
after
yeah.
watching it this morning. It was just straight through the whole thing. It was great.
Right on. Vetta, what about you? Anything
I
that I
just have
missed?
2 things.
Right on.
I'm sleeping homo. That's for you.
Yeah.
And you didn't talk about during the jump on how the money counter stopped.
Oh, it did stop.
It stopped right before the
We gotta
ramp.
see how this finishes. And then-
Like people were like, I'm not fucking
Dave
giving
goes,
any more
why
money.
is no more money coming in? And then
People want to see if you die or not, fuckface. So yeah, you're right. That's so good. So good. Yeah, no. Okay, now the second thing I want to ask you is overall, what did you think about this movie and thoughts and everything? And would you recommend this movie, Randy?
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had like a friend dressed up as Hot Rod for Halloween.
Nice.
nice.
Yeah, no, hell yeah.
Right on, Alex?
I would always recommend this movie. It's so funny.
Yeah, for sure. Vetta, what about you? What did you think about
I
it?
just kind of go, if I have to recommend this, like you haven't seen it, I don't know if we can be friends.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Yeah, I love this movie. It was a great walk down. It brought back so many memories. You know, and I would recommend this movie in a heartbeat. It's so good. And I'm glad that you suggested it for this review because I was like, man, I haven't seen this in so long, and I'm glad that I got to rewatch it and everything.
Amazing. Awesome.
All right. Well, if that's all we got, I'm gonna wrap it up and everything.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Do you guys have Alex? Do you have like a YouTube channel or a podcast you want to plug or anything?
No, nothing to plug.
No.
Everything's fine.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at BS Drunk Pod to stay updated. And don't forget, if you guys listen to us on Apple Podcast or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review, you guys. It helps us out immensely, and we really appreciate it and everything. We'll also be posting the video version of this to our YouTube channel, like I said before. So make sure to subscribe to us and hit the like button, you guys. That shit is free, and it helps us out immensely. And that's on YouTube at BS Drunk Movie Reviews. Also, we do have a Patreon if you guys are interested. And over there, we just review a series of movies. We've done Jurassic Park, Scream, the Bring It On series, a whole bunch of stuff. Go over there and check it out. And there's plenty of different levels to fit whatever your needs are. But most importantly, you guys, please don't forget to drink, recap, review, and repeat. Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.